Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Darren Cole. I'm the owner of MendMeShop. What some of you may find is if you go to MendMeShop.com, you actually get forwarded to shop.tshells.com, and that is actually our online shop on Shopify, and that's where we sell many products, including our major products such as the T-Shells wrap. But today I wanted to talk to you about compressed nerves and pinched nerves, and in particular my own experience with a pinched nerve, which kind of ties into the idea of why MendMeShop is not there yet. You know, I have to make the website basically, but what happened, well, many years ago when I was a younger boy, or a young boy, I guess I'm not a boy anymore, but anyways, when I was younger, I was messing around on a trampoline, and as you could probably assume, I wound up stretching my neck, you know, and I think I had a little bit of a injury in my neck, but of course there was no real problem at the time, but these things seem to come back to haunt you the older you get. So I've had a couple incidents in the past where I had a bit of neck trouble, but it kind of went away in a week or two. Now about a year and a half ago, it really started to become a problem. I found my mobility very decreased, and a lot of pain in my behind my back left shoulder, and it just got worse and worse, to the point where it was interrupting my ability to sleep, and so, you know, I went to the doctor, and he prescribed me some things to, you know, reduce the pain, kind of, so I could get along with it. But the reality is that they didn't really do anything, and as it continued to get worse and worse, you know, it was described to me that, well, you have a pinched nerve. I think it was like in the C4, C5 area, and in that area, which is fairly high up in the back, you know, kind of in the behind your neck kind of thing, there's a nerve. Well, nerves obviously go out to all limbs of your body, and they extend from the spinal cord, the spinal column, I guess. And this nerve in particular that was getting pinched was one of the major nerve that deals with my left, my upper left side, I guess you could say, basically the arm. Now, when it manifested, the doctor told me, well, a pinched nerve will tighten up the tissue around it, the muscle tissue around it, in order to protect itself. And basically what I had was a very tight ball of muscle, you know, halfway between my neck and the end of my left shoulder, and it really just didn't want to loosen up no matter what I did with it. So, you know, I went to the chiropractor. You know, basically she couldn't help much in this particular case, but although she did get an MRI, although I didn't get to see it, I really wish I asked her for, but she basically said that, you know, you probably have a compressed nerve, but you also have some spurring on your vertebrae. So you generally laid it out that, you know, me working on a computer for the last 25-30 years, excessive amounts without really getting enough mobility and exercise, you know, eventually your system starts to compensate for that. And in my case, you know, the lack of stretching in the spine leads to spurring, And further to that, because I didn't get much help because the chiropractor couldn't do much for me in this particular case, I also wound up going to physical therapy, which, as far as terms of alleviation, was very minimal, until finally I wound up going to see an osteopath. Now, I've never heard of them before, but I went to see him, and it was really quite interesting, and he basically looked at around the neck area, both front and back, and the neck and and such. And he basically said, well, you have some major issues with tightened cords in your neck because you've always been facing in a downward position. And so your neck is kind of compensated for that, now to the point where you really can't pull your neck back. So his focus on me was really just getting rid of some of the scar tissue and loosening up a lot of the cords in the front of my neck, so I could actually get a full stretch on my neck once again. So I found that very helpful and useful, in a way that it brought home to me that if you're not going to stay mobile and continually exercise your limbs, you lose that mobility, and it's hard to get it back. And he said that's the reason why physical therapy wasn't effective for you, because your neck was basically just tightened up in a downward motion. So anyways, it was somewhat helpful, although the truth is, in my experience, the pinched nerve really just had its way with me. I would say it was bad for about 6 months, but it was truly about 8 months before I really got over it. And that included my inability to work at a computer, my inability to really do anything because the pain got quite bad. And what happened as it got worse was all of the muscles, all of the extensor muscles, so all of the muscles that are responsible for bringing your arm, wrist, hand, and fingers outward. So all the muscles going down the outside of the arm were in a constant tightened state, to the point where they were aching so bad that I couldn't actually get to sleep. Now I tried, the various items through doctors and such, and I found them completely ineffective against nerve pain. And I tried a couple of the items from our store. The T-shells wraps were kind of helpful in keeping things limber, but they didn't really alleviate any of the pain. And then my wife finally said to me, well, why don't you try the pain cream that we sell, the Arnica pain cream, Simply Amazing pain cream. When we first got this product, my Paul and my wife kind of really liked the product, but I never really tried it out. But I found that was really the only thing that would actually let me be able to get to sleep. It was just enough, I would rub it on the skin, on the muscles, and it was just enough to bring the pain down to the point where I could actually get some sleep. So, I know I sell the product and such, and there's a vested interest in me pitching it, but the truth is it was actually quite helpful. So, I don't know. That's just my experience anyways, but every experience may differ. But I recently had a friend tell me that he's got a pinched nerve in his back, and it's been bugging him for about 3 weeks, and I'll see how it goes. But it seems that when it really flares up, you may get a couple warning flare-ups that kind of go away in a week or two, but when it really starts to run, you're probably looking at 6 months, I would say, almost at a minimum, to get to get it back down. And you know, I don't know what forms there are out there regarding medical and surgery, but you know, a lot can be said about, you know, I think there's a lot of risk in making a decision to have someone operate on your neck and in an attempt to reduce to try to get rid of your pinched nerve, which to me, now maybe you have an inflamed muscle that's pressing against the nerve, you know, and such things where perhaps you know, cortisone shots or something might work for you. But overall, you know, like, unless you're getting real medical intervention, you know, pinched nerves can last quite a while. So that's my story about the pinched nerve. And as a result, I was just about getting ready to start work on the MendMeShop website at the time. Now, I've done a couple websites since, but I've really changed my outlook on my health, you know, because if I start working at a computer with my neck down every day, it's just going to come back again. I'm almost certain that's the case. So I have to kind of, what's the word for it? I have to encompass a larger and changing lifestyle where I'm actually more mobile and doing walks every day and such things. So I'll get the website made though, and but perhaps you know, I can keep shooting some videos, but it's the first long form video I've ever done. If you think it's useful or helpful for you, to please like and subscribe, and thank you very much.